That's where he was. We are back here at the WinnaVegas Casino Resort, and we are ready for 8 rounds of action. Harmonito Dela Torre takes on Jose Luis Araiza. And we are going to go to the tail of the tape, which is sponsored by Settlement Systems. And Steve, give us the numbers again.
Well, the number that really stands out is age 37, 14-year age differential between the two. Taking a look at the weight, 135 for Araiza, but it has to be noted, yesterday he came in a full 7.5 pounds over the contracted weight. Took an hour or two to lose a couple of pounds to get down to 135.
Not good.
And yes, brought to you by Settlement Systems, our sponsor for our tail of the tape. And now we are getting ready to see Jose Luis Araiza make his entrance to classic Mexican music. And Steve, like you said, 7 pounds overweight. Is he really here to fight and win?
Well, that's the issue. Taking a look at the record, he comes into this contest a loser of 4 straight. In his last 11, he is 0, 10, and 1. Sometimes numbers speak for themselves.
And here we see Jose Luis Araiza in the ring, not a big guy. And here we are looking at the undefeated contender, Harmonito Dela Torre from the Philippines and Hasin. They tried to compare him a little bit to Manny Pacquiao because he fought out of the same gym. He needs a big performance tonight.
I like what I've seen out of him. I know he had a disastrous performance the last time, but I like the way this guy fights. I like his straight right hand. I've looked at him on YouTube. I've seen a lot of his fights. This kid, to me, he still looks like the real deal. Anybody can have a bad night. You can have a bad night and get knocked out. He had a bad night and just didn't look as good as people projected him to look. That's not that bad.
And we will see how he does tonight and if he can have redemption from his last performance. And now we are ready to get it up to our ring announcer, Jeff Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the WinnaVegas Casino Resort as CBS Sports Spectacular Fight Night action continues in Sloan, Iowa. Our main event of the evening is scheduled 8 rounds, lightweight division. The main event sanctioned by the Iowa State Athletic Commission. The executive director is Joe Walsh. The deputy director is Ed Bull Jr. The event inspectors are Jared Harmon and Tyrone Roberts. This event is brought to you by Greg Cohen Promotions and Ringside Ticket Incorporated in association with Adam Wilcox Fight Card Promotions and David Schuster's Winner Take All Productions. The main event is sponsored by Body Armor USA, the #1 choice in body armor and protective clothing, and by the APLS Group and Settlement Systems, Arbitration and Mediation. The judges for this bout are Bart Baker, Bob Lafrat, and Brad Rebeck. Controlling the action at the sound of the bell, referee Adam Pollock. And now, once again, live from WinnaVegas Casino, it's the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's go time on CBS. Introducing fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds. His professional record, 34 wins, 18 losses, 1 draw, and 25 wins, coming by way of knockout, wearing red trunks and hailing from Michoacan, Mexico, Jose Luis Tapita Araiza. Across the ring, his opponent weighed in at 131 pounds. He's undefeated. Pro record is 18 wins, 12 wins coming by way of knockout, wearing camo and gold, originally from Gayon de Oro City, Philippines, fighting out of Miami, Florida, Harmonito Dela Torre.
Take your shirt off. Take the shirt off. Gentlemen, touch gloves. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. If you have any questions, fight at the bell.
While we get ready for 8 rounds of boxing action, which was originally supposed to be at 131 pounds, it is now at the junior welterweight division, and the referee had to tell Jose Luis to take off his shirt, and now we know why.
Yeah, his body has the definition of mashed potatoes, but you're just looking at their frames overall, one guy certainly looks like the big, strong, strapping 130-pounder. As you mentioned before, Araiza, more of a natural 18 to 22-pounder.
Well, he's a 135-pound middleweight.
Here we go, round number 1. Let's see what De La Torre comes in tonight. Is he going to pick up the pace early and try to take this fight to an end?
Hassan, you talked about having a bad night. And I think one of the dynamics that we didn't talk about was the fact that he really traveled. This was his first fight in the States. Now, for this camp, spent most of the time with Mauro Fernandez, his trainer in Miami, Florida. Traveling for the first time, how much of a difference can that make on a fighter?
Well, it all depends on if you let yourself get distracted. It depends on how you are mentally. I mean, I think it's just no one set of rules for every fighter. It's individual. You know, some people are bothered, some people doesn't. Some people fighting at home, some bothers them, some of them don't. If you minimize the distractions, you good, no matter what's in front of you.
Well, right now, Araiza seems to be dipping in and trying to come underneath the jab, but the only problem there, as you know, De La Torre has that wide sweeping hook uppercut that can land.
Slash uppercut, slash hook.
Sort of that De La Hoya type uppercut instead of that awkward.
The smash.
Yeah.
The smash.
Yeah, the smash.
And a nice short left hook there, by De La Torre. And right now, you can see Araiza's very, very cautious.
I keep telling you he's a middleweight. You know why I'm calling him a middleweight? Oh, his weight's in the middle.
And by the way, everybody, after the fight's over, we have stand-up comedy. You can see Hasim Rahman. And believe me, $100 to get in to see him is worth it.
If Mike can do it, I can do it.
2-drink minimum, by the way, here at the WinnaVegas. Talking to Mauro Fernandez for this camp in Miami, he did say that his fighter did spar with the likes of Ismael Barroso and Guillermo Rigondeaux. He does look a little better technically, but I'll be honest with you, he still looks raw. When he throws that right hand, Hassan, it seems to me like when he throws that right hand, he almost drops the right hand and he almost shoots it back up. Some wasted motion there.
It's okay for him to look, for learning. I mean, he still has time. I mean, if you talking about he fighting for the title, his next fight, now we got a problem.
Yeah. Still just 22 years old.
Right,
that's
what I'm saying. This kid got time to grow. Stop trying to rush him into pound-for-pound status. Let him develop.
Well, right now, he has a shorter guy in front of him as opposed to a tall guy in Guillermo Sanchez in his last fight. There's that uppercut that he landed. And this is a more comfortable style for him, Steve.
Yeah, it is. But I think he has physical ability, pretty good quickness, good acceleration. But I do think that right hand, the way he throws it, just looks problematic.
Well, we will see if it's going to be problematic for Araiza or for Harmonito as we end round number 1.
I've seen him throw that right hand straight, looking beautiful also.
And here we go in the corner, looking at Harmonito De La Torre. And De La Torre, you can see the size difference, and you can see the hand speed difference as well. Much faster than Araiza. And what would you, Hasim, be telling him in his corner right now?
I would tell him, if I was in his corner, I would tell him just solely concentrate on their body. I mean, clearly he's not in shape. Clearly he had to go out and lose some more weight. That had to affect him. So go get him. Go touch that body.
And here
Find
we
out
are.
what he ate for breakfast.
And here we're going to look at the blue corner.
Let's hope we don't find out, Hassan. Okay?
Yeah, I want to
Or
see
on the
that.
other side of the ring.
I want to see
And
not
we get
this
ready
side.
for round number 2. And yes, there is a boxing match going on, guys. And there's that uppercut hook that didn't quite land flush, but he is trying to find it. He can see, I think, Steve, that Araiza leans in and is tailor-made for that shot. Flicking jab by Araiza. He has yet to throw a right hand.
Patrick, you mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, the high expectations of Dela Torre. Much of that is because of where he's from, the Philippines. Obviously, the fighter that everyone thinks of is the great Manny Pacquiao, but you also have other fighters that have had very distinguished careers like Nonito Donaire and Brian Valoria. Before them, forerunners like Jerry Penalosa and Luisito Espinoza. And I think that literally every fighter now, from this point forward, that comes from the Philippines, there's going to be a certain expectation of them coming to the States.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure, and Manny Pacquiao is a big cloud over his career in a sense, and it's one he has to try to navigate, and it's going to be difficult. And there's a right hand and another right hand by Araiza. Didn't do much, but at least he's trying to find something to make a fight out of this.
I'm not sure why he's not investing into the body.
Yeah.
And Steve, are you getting the feeling you're getting already a little frustrated with Dela Torre because he could be maybe doing more, or we think he could be doing more?
You know, I look at his technique. He just looks like a guy to me. If I was training him, I'd have him really shadow box a lot with proper technique. I'd actually have him work the heavy bag a lot. Wouldn't even let him work the mitts until he learns how to set the jab with the right hand. Really just set up. I almost think Moro Fernandez has a job of breaking him down technically down to the very base fundamentals.
Hasim, there's a nice short left hook by Dela Torre. Didn't seem to bother the seasoned veteran, Araiza.
He has to double it up. He has to double his hook up. He can throw it to the head or to the body or to the head, but he has to do something different. I mean, everybody in boxing knows the 1, 2, the 1, 2, 3. So you know how you get knockouts when people don't see the punch coming. So you got to do more. You got to throw 4s and 5s.
Yep.
You got to throw double it up. You throw him one hook. Throw 2, double the hook up.
And does he have that kind of ability to throw those kind of combinations? I think that's the question.
Well, there's other things, small little things. To add upon what Hassim just said, also mix in a feint, throw off a guy's timing, you know? And I don't even think he's at that stage where he really understands what a feint can do.
And he doesn't really seem to try to set anything up, as well as we come to a seemingly fast second round.
I don't like the touching of the gloves at the end of the fight.
No.
You
Did
must have
anybody
hated-
ever do that with you, Hasim? As we look at Araiza's corner right now.
I don't do it back. Like, you stick your hand out all you want, but
Well,
good
Hassim,
luck.
So if they kissed you, you didn't kiss them back.
Kissing?
what? Hassim? Are you kidding me?
Kissing? Kiss
And
him
now
with
we
his
look.
right hand.
We see Dela Torre. He needs to learn to set his guy up and then follow that up with combinations, and he just doesn't seem to be able to do it so far tonight.
No, if you look at him physically, he is built like a real fighter. I mean, you look at that physique.
Legs, crazy.
Yeah, I just think the problem with him is you got to work on his fundamental and his technique.
Skill-wise, he's behind Malik Hawkins at this point.
I think a lot of fighters are behind Hawkins.
But he has way more fights. He has way more fights than Malik.
Yes, he does. Hawkins is something special regardless of who he was fighting tonight. And there's a nice body shot by Dela Torre. He doubled the jab up there, and he's looking to pick up the pace a little bit.
That straight right hand. That was a straight right hand. You ain't saying nothing about that, Steve.
Well, I was just impressed by it, that's all. This just left me speechless. Oh, and there's a good uppercut.
And that's that uppercut that Dela Torre, I think, can land all night, Hasim.
I think if he goes to the body consistently, he'll stop this guy. But Everybody want to head out.
And
as you mentioned, Hassim, there's a lot to hit there with the Araiza. I mean, that is an enticing
I knew
target.
that was coming. Steve, I'm sorry, get to know your new ally. I knew that was coming.
I telegraphed my punches, too.
It's still funny, though. And there's Araiza. He tried to double his right hand up to the top and sort of pushes his punches. And he just barely missed getting hit by that uppercut. And Araiza's punches don't seem like they could hurt him even if they land.
No, and again, there's a natural size advantage. If you look at some of the really recognizable names on his ledger, like Rashi Warren, Miguel Flores, Juan Carlos Payano, and Randy Caballero, those guys are much smaller fighters.
Yeah, but he just don't look like he gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. I mean, what is he doing?
I didn't know I was going to have so much entertainment tonight. I'm talking about you guys, not the fight.
What is happening?
You know, I talked to the matchmaker, Jerry Alfano, who's helped put this fight together, and Jerry told me Araiza is a very crafty guy, been around a long time, but he was taking the fight on short notice. He said this guy does know how to fight and hang around, and he will try to fight, though he has a much bigger guy against him, so we could end up going rounds.
Patrick, there's an old saying for guys like this, and I hear it from matchmakers all the time, and trainers, they know how to work. They know how to operate within the ring. He's confident, and as Hassim pointed out, you're right, there's no firepower, so you're going to get some rounds, but I'd like to see Harmonito really separate himself from this guy.
One thing we do know, we know he can take a good headshot.
Yeah.
We don't know if he can take good body shots.
And here, De La Torre really, there's that uppercut. He's trying to land it. He knows it's there, but he hasn't been able to do so. And it is a little repetitive with De La Torre.
And the other issue is he throws that right uppercut from a distance. I'm telling you, if he faces a better guy that could throw a left hook, he drops that right hand. Yeah, he's very susceptible. Yeah.
And that ends the round. I'm starting to feel like we're watching a replay with De La Torre. And are we going to see the same thing again? Can he make mid-fight adjustments to try to take this guy out?
I'm not sure if he can. 22 fights. He has 22 fights.
18-0, 22 years old.
18 fights. He looked like he has about 6, 7 fights.
Yeah, I agree.
He can't rush. He can't rush. He got a lot of work to do.
And here we're going to take a look back at some action in the round, Steve.
Boy, and one thing I noticed, Hassim, there's not a lot of fluidity to what he does. He looks a little bit stiff and robotic.
Robotic,
yeah.
100%. 100%. And you made a point earlier. You would put him on a heavy bag because it's like the pad work has him stiff. Like, okay, I'm 1, 2, 3. Like, you know, it's just repetitive, the same thing.
Yeah, and the bottom line is some trainers can catch the punches. They can actually create the illusion of accuracy.
And we are in round number 4, and let's see if there's any adjustments by De La Torre to try to get Araiza out of there.
Patrick, you talk about adjustments. I don't think we're suddenly going to see this guy grow in front of us. I think a guy like this, if he's in a real camp with Mauro Fernandez, and if he has the likes of Guillermo Rigonda, who's a superlative boxer, this is going to be a long-range project, Hassim, where he's going to have to just really get better in the gym months and weeks at a time of investments.
Yeah, he need to fight. He need to spar better opposition in the gym. He need to go around. He need to do a world tour.
Well, he did land a decent uppercut again a moment ago in the corner. But again, and there it is again. And I think he thinks that is the punch that will take him home early tonight.
Do we have a punch count on the body shots?
You know, I can't believe that his corner has not told him to go to the body. And Araiza is trying to throw some punches and make something out of it. Let's see if maybe he can create some openings in doing that.
I'm almost sure a good body shot will end this fight. Get him hurt.
but does he need to start that? It's not going to take one or two. It needs to take a few.
Not really. I mean, you've seen one body shot take guys out of here. Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins took him out. Roy Jones took Virgil Hill out. One body shot.
Right.
It only takes one body shot. If you place it right, that's it.
Well,
But just
that.
to put some insurance on it, that's why people, just invest in the body.
Right.
I think another thing they really need to work on, again, you can't work on everything at once. One thing I noticed about Dela Torre's stance looks very squared up. Both shoulders seem like a flat surface to his opponent. And he doesn't really move his head or tuck his chin in after he punches. So, I mean, again, Rome was not built in a day, and certainly Dela Torre will not be built in a day. This is going to be, I believe, a long-term project for Mauro Fernandez.
Well, is this wrong?
No.
Well,
It's not even Manila.
Oh, thank you.
Well, when you look at him, you think he has the body of a fighter. But
Well,
as Angelo Dundee told me, and I've mentioned this before, body beautiful doesn't win fights and make you a great fighter. And, so I think visually it's a little frustrating for people to watch him fight because you're expecting more.
Well, there's that old saying, built like Tarzan, fights like Jane. And, Harmonito seems very, very willing. But, again, you're going to have to craft a fighter. Listen, there are certain guys. A lot of Mexicans.
You really hard on him.
No, I'm not. I'm just, it's tough
Jane,
love. It's tough love. I can't believe you never heard that one.
I have, but I'm saying, you
sorry.
said Jane.
And there is the end of the round.
I know, but fight like a woman, it's some good woman fighting on it.
And, guys, the round did end, by the way. And we're looking in the corner of De La Torre. And, Steve, you are tough on him, but, in a way, he needs that. And I'm wondering if he gets it in camp.
Well, listen, if they are honest with themselves, they will literally have a laundry list of things they can improve on. But the reality is, Hassan, and you are a very young and inexperienced fighter, you can only work on certain things at a time. You cannot fix everything at once.
Well, number one, he needs to establish his jab better. He needs to come out with a good jab, and then he needs to throw straight punches. And not, he's inventing punches. Like, he's throwing punches I've never seen. I'm trying to help Paul this fight, but I don't know what this stuff is he's throwing.
He's the Thomas Edison of boxing?
Apparently. I've never seen some of these punches. I mean, robotic and throwing crazy punches. I mean, we compared him to Razor Ruddock's punch. But,
there was an awkward but effective punch.
Ask Michael Dokes.
Yes, and here we go, guys. I'm forgetting the round, but I think it is round number 5, yes. But it reminded me of the last two. So, yes, we're in round number 5. And let's hope De La Torre gets serious. And also, if Araiza can get serious and give us something serious to talk about. And there's that uppercut again. And Araiza picking up the pace here, guys, a little bit, trying to make a little bit of a fight right now.
To expound upon what Hassim said last round, you really look at De La Torre technically, and he really does fight like a 5 or 6-0 fighter. So I think with that said, if you want him to improve and really invest time, you almost have to match make to that degree. Throw out the 18-0 and really understand what you have and what he is able to handle inside that ring.
Yes, and that is sort of what we have here with Araiza. Even though we did have him matched with somebody else, that opponent fell out. Araiza came in late, and that's obvious by the 7 pounds.
Said he came in weight. He came in weight.
Yeah.
He's not taking advantage of it, though. I mean, you got a guy that's coming, a late replacement, overweight, trying to lose some weight. I mean, touch the body.
Yeah.
And can you blame his corner a little bit on that? Should they be telling him to go to the body?
They get a significant amount of the blame.
Yeah.
Significant amount.
Assuming they're not saying that, because we have not been able to listen to the corner, but assuming that's the case.
Even if they are saying it, they ain't translating enough for him to go out and do it. So they're getting the blame.
But you do, in all fairness, though, you have to wonder. It might be the jockey's fault, but you wonder about the horse. Do they have a guy that could actually execute what is being asked? And that goes back, you go back to the gym, and you literally have to work on this stuff piecemeal.
I'm saying, the man, I ain't really see body shots. I mean, I can't imagine they keep telling him body shots. He just don't throw them.
And he threw a nice short little right hand, but again, one at a time and nothing behind it. Nothing came after and nothing down to the body, and the left hook was there to go to the body.
This is head hunt. He painted him up real good on the face.
And Steve, with Araiza, I mean, he's been in with everybody. This, for him, probably isn't as tough as what he's used to.
No, and you throw out the size. I mean, we're talking about guys like Randy Caballero, good enough to be an IBF bantamweight champion. Rashi Warren, slick, fast, very technical.
They're smaller guys.
Right, but
Yeah.
and they had a lot of speed, 3-time U.S. Olympian. So sometimes if you have the skill, that's more difficult than size. I mean, Dela Torre has really good size, just does not have the technical acumen.
You know the ironic part is he just threw 2 body shots at him.
Right. And
Wow.
another body shot, and now he's teeing off on Dela Torre. Sorry, Oscar, I didn't mean to say that. Dela Torre.
More glove session.
And that was the best moment of the fight for Araiza. And Golden Boy, I do apologize. And right now we are here with Steve Kim, Hasim Rockman, and guys, so far it's been a broken record, right?
It's been a broken record because, in my opinion, the corner ain't fixing the button. So if they tell him to go to the body, I think we got a different result. This fight might be over. We might be on our way home.
Right, and I'll be honest with you, Patrick, I only see nominal technical improvement from Dela Torre. Is he better than last time? Yes, but that is clearing a very, very low bar.
Yeah, and, you know, I might even counter-argue and say, I don't know if he has improved, and I'm not trying to be that tough on him, but,
Yeah.
you know, it just seems like I'm watching the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
But against a fighter who's shorter and really more tailor-made for him based on the style of his punching power.
Well, Patrick, you know this. You've been a manager or you've been a matchmaker and a promoter. In boxing, it's not sometimes if you win, because sometimes you're expected to win. It's how you win.
Well, I'm going to say you guys won me over because I'm on your side about him there.
Oh, so you're off the bandwagon.
I was being
Wow.
optimistic. Yeah,
Wow.
I was being optimistic saying, you know, I think he's going to have a good night.
Folks,
I've seen
well, you sprained your ankle getting right off that bandwagon.
Oh, hey. At
he
least I'm
did
with the
land a
band.
right to the body a moment ago. Let's see if maybe Dela Torre can start thinking about the body a little bit these last few rounds. And the clock is ticking for him to change his fight around and put a little shine back on his stars.
I'm already off the bandwagon. I'm on your bandwagon.
And
Right
there's
there
that
again, sneaky right hand, because Dela Torre, as the taller, rangier guy, simply did not set distance.
He don't use his jab.
Yeah.
And that shortens the distance when you don't have a jab. And he allowed him to get in. And that was Araiza's plan, to throw stuff over the top.
Yeah, but you can throw it over the top all you want. If the distance is right, it's going to miss. Man, I can't.
Well, Hasim, going back to your career, I still remember that shot heard around the world in Johannesburg, South Africa. You ended up actually faking Lennox into a false sense of security with the jab and a right hand over the top. Not that I have to remind you.
No, definitely. You definitely,
Oh, I should.
you fight nightly don't have to do that.
And there Araiza sort of charging in, somewhat amateurishly. And Dela Torre really not holding his ground and trying to land a hard counter as he comes in. And he's the bigger, harder puncher with the type of punch that would be effective with Araiza coming in like that.
You know, boxing is a game of wills. You know, it's who can impose their will on who. Now, he's winning the fight, but he's getting his will imposed. He's imposing his will on him. He's coming in, hitting him way too much. He's taking all his shots. I mean, this is just, it's not a good look for him.
Well, Hasim, he's winning the fight, but he's lost you. And there's been a subtle shift that in the last round and a half, it has been Araiza kind of pressing the action and backing up Dela Torre in spots.
Which, if Araiza had any bit of power, he could be more effective than Dela Torre would be in a real fight.
That's why you got to really, really take your time for Dela Torre. He's a prospect, not a blue chip.
Well,
No.
I would go as far as to say, based on what I've seen live twice, I think he's more of a suspect than prospect, in all honesty.
Yes, and grudgingly, you know, he's a nice young man, but I have to agree right now, he is a little bit of that suspect, as you always say, Steve. And he's a nice guy. You'd like to see him
I
turn it
just got
around.
on the other bandwagon now. Y'all are suspect. Y'all keep leaving me. Y'all don't want to be with me.
No, we're carpooling. You're right with us, Hassan.
I wasn't willing to go to suspect this right now.
Here we're going to look at Araiza in his corner, and he woke up this last round, did the best he can with what he has, and can he do more?
Well, I actually think he's exceeded expectations, don't you? I mean, looking at them, you wouldn't have thought we'd be in round number 7, Hassan.
No, not from a middleweight, fighting the lightweight. Should have been over.
And we are getting ready for round number 7. And you got to wonder a little bit if Araiza was in shape and if he was ready to go, would have this been a better fight?
Patrick, if he was in shape, he'd be at 126 or 130. And it's that old line from Great White Hype. He is in shape. He's round. So, you know, sometimes just when you have a layup or a slam dunk, you got to make the shot. And quite frankly, I don't think Dela Torre has done that tonight.
Halili did it. Malik had a difficult guy, awkward guy in front of him, and he tried to do it, but I don't sense Dela Torre really trying to do it, at least in our eyes.
He is trying. We got to realize that he's limited.
Right.
But he's trying. Yeah, he's definitely trying. In his mind, he thinks he's doing good.
So really the bottom line is this is
limited
what he has to offer at this time in his career.
He's giving us 100. He's definitely not robbing us or stealing or holding back. He's doing the best of his ability. But it's just not. It just doesn't match the height.
Yeah.
But look at him. He's definitely fighting. He's coming to fight. He really wants to get a KO.
But listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd right now. It's it energized.
I just heard a pin.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I think Dela Torre, that's his responsibility to make that happen. Of course, his opponent somewhat too, but he's a.
You gotta know how to do it. Yeah. Everybody wants to do that. He wants to do it. He's throwing punches. He's a fighter. He thinks any punch he lands could possibly end the fight. So with the invention of a couple new punches he threw tonight, and the jabs and the right hands he's throwing, all of them, he wants to win the fight with those punches.
Well, more of the same. Dela Torre pawing his jabs, coming in and throwing the combinations. And obviously, us sitting here watching it, it's frustrating. I got to believe people watching it at home and here are a little frustrated as well.
The record is cracked. It's a broken record.
They do make records.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Marion Barry reference, but okay.
No, broken record. Keep doing the same thing.
Yeah. I think Mauro Fernandez has a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
They got to go right back to the gym and treat him almost like a beginner.
I'm gonna go out on the record. I'm gonna go out on the limb here and say this. I don't know who his trainers are, but they need to be replaced.
Oh, jeez.
Y'all keep giving it to the fighter. Everything on the fighter.
You ought to get in politics.
He's got to go. Round after round after round, we ain't seeing the body shot. And this is the second fight in a row this happened. Yeah. They have to go.
That is a truthful, pure comment, and
Rockman's always been hard-hitting.
And listen, man, listen, I gotta tell you what I know.
Yes, it is. And you know what? You might be right.
But in all fairness, The Rock.
No, ain't no fairness.
What if you don't have a fighter that's capable of doing it, though? I mean,
listen, he's got capability. You can see that. You can see he's got capability. He can punch. I've seen certain things from him. He can do it. His corner has to go. They have to go out. He's got to go.
Wow.
Well, we're looking at his corner, and, you know, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, what they're trying to teach him.
I know he ain't got to go to the body.
He does. And are they trying, we don't know what they're trying to teach him, what they do every day in the gym, but there's definitely work that needs to be done. And
I could take this kid, you give me 1 month with this kid, he'll stop this guy for 2 rounds.
You want the job?
No, I don't want to train
okay.
anybody.
All right. Well, he maybe wants to move out to Vegas, Rock.
that will take up time from the stand-up comedy gig coming up.
Yeah, I got the one-night stand. I got the Rock's one-night stand.
Yeah, Chris Rock, come on.
Here we go, the 8th and final round. As we've been going round and round over here, let's see if they can give us something to talk about and give these fans something to cheer about. Dela Torre coming in behind the jab.
Finally.
And there was a good, now there are some combinations of the body. You got to wonder, where has that been?
Well, Patrick, you made a good point, though, in talking about this crowd here in Sloan, Iowa at WinnaVegas. They are very, very quiet. And part of being a young prospect is building a fan base, creating a buzz, generating excitement, and it really has not done that.
No, and this is a crowd that loves fights, and we've heard them throughout the night. When you give them something to yell about, they will yell and yell loudly, but this is not what they came to see.
The stage was set for a dramatic knockout.
Yes.
Got a shorter guy, last-minute replacement, come in overweight, put him on the scale, make him lose some more weight. Let's tire him out, then bring him in the next day. Set for a knockout.
Yeah, I mean, you could see this going
Highlight
4 or 5 rounds with a highlight reel knockout, and we just haven't had it.
Trainers have to go.
Wow.
There you hear it from Hassan.
What you gonna do? You gonna just retire the fighter?
No, you're right. He's too young to retire. Absolutely.
The trainers got to go. That's my vote.
Wow.
Selection time, right?
Yeah. Well, we had a
That's my
contentious
vote.
one just end, so let's not bring politics. It's a very, very, very divisive issue right now.
Well, I'm not gonna say who I voted for.
Well, we need a little divisiveness in the ring, and let's hope maybe we could get a minute of it here, and hope that Dela Torre turns it on a little bit. Araiza, for his part, he probably was pacing himself and picked up the pace a little bit.
How is he backing him up, man?
Well, we have to be honest. Araiza has actually exceeded expectations.
Well, look at this, guys. I'm sorry, Steve. A combination by Araiza.
They got the underdog. The crowd is rooting for the underdog now. They're getting loud when he throws punches.
And I still got to go back. I think if Araiza was in shape, we would have had a little more action going on, because I think he is a guy who wants to fight. But when you know you're not ready because you're on called on short notice, you're going to pace yourself a little bit.
I'm going to go out there on another limb.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think Araiza is the better technical fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has a better idea and understanding of what he wants to do and being able to execute that than Dela Torre. I do not disagree with that, Rock.
Yeah, that was safe limb there.
As we wind down the final few seconds of this bout, and it's really been Araiza the past couple rounds as he lands
man,
a
look
right
at that.
hand at
Overhand
the
right.
end of the round, that overhand right that
If he could do that, he would have won the fight. I think he's the better technical fighter.
Patrick, I think the decision
Nah,
will go
he
to
can
Dela
slow down
Torre.
on raising his hands, though. He
Right.
didn't win.
Well, I think Dela Torre will get the decision, but I think sometimes
That's a win-loss.
in winning, you lose.
That's a win-loss.
And
Yeah.
something I think we need to keep in mind, sometimes judges will see a guy like Araiza, and he's doing more than he's supposed to do the past couple rounds, and he may get a couple rounds, but we will be back to find out that decision in just one moment. We are back at the WinnaVegas Casino Resort in Sloan, Iowa, and there you get a look at Harmonito Dela Torre, waiting anxiously for the decision, and Araiza, who turned it on towards the end, and you never know, he may have stole the few rounds. Anything is possible in boxing. And now we're ready to go to our ring announcer, Jeff O'Connor, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for our main event fighters at WinnaVegas Casino Resort in Sloan, Iowa. The judges' scorecards are in. We go first to Judge Paul Perry, who scores the bout 80-73. Bob Lafrat scores the bout 78-74. Judge Bart Baker sees the bout 79-73. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Harmonito Dela Torre.
Not a big surprise. De La Torre wins the fight. But as you said, Hassan, very candidly, and you may be right, that maybe he needs a different environment to try to get his career going.
I'm 100% right. Not maybe.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you.
Neither am I.
I'm not arguing with you. Steve, overall picture for him?
The overall picture is this. I've seen him twice, and I've come away unimpressed both times. I'll say it again. It's one of my mantras. In boxing at this level, in relationship to matchmaking, sometimes you're supposed to win. So it's not if you win, it's how you win. And these last two victories, it doesn't strike me as a guy that where I say Harmonito Dela Torre is going places.
And real quickly, looking back on the card, Malik Hawkins, very quickly an overview.
I think he did good with what he had in front of him.
I think he's got real talent, and I think we are going to look forward to seeing more and more of this young talent.
Well, Malik Hawkins, our winner tonight, and Harmonito